Hassan would now like to leave Syria. He's been putting it off for a long time. 2 months ago, he was still in the middle of the war. Hassan is a photographer and he recorded the horrors of the conflict in his hometown, Aleppo. But he doesn't have the strength to continue. I would like to go to Turkey with my wife. She is pregnant and it's dangerous here. We have nothing here. We have to leave everything behind in Aleppo. Hassan's family fled to Turkey 2 years ago. He and his wife want to join them. But the border to Turkey has since been closed. Only the seriously wounded are allowed through. Hassan's mother is very concerned about them. "Hello, how are you?" she says. "When are you going to try to get across the border?" Hassan says a man will bring him across, but keeps delaying. Now, he says, it will be tomorrow. The journey will be difficult. At the moment, Hassan is in Azaz, a town 50 kilometres north of Aleppo and just 10 kilometres from the Turkish border. The Turkish-Syrian border is 900 kilometres long. Previously, it was simply fenced off. But in 2015, Turkey began constructing a wall which should eventually cover 520 kilometres of the border. 300 kilometres of it have already been built, and it's strictly guarded, as is the rest of the border. The EU had repeatedly said that the border to Syria was too open, that terrorists could simply cross it freely. But ordinary citizens are also affected by the shutting of the border. Hassan has tried to enter Turkey 5 times already, each time without success. He's on his way to the border wall at the moment. He wants to show us what the situation is like there. I feel like I'm in the Gaza Strip, as if Israel were on the other side. But we are in Syria, and there is a war here. And people are fleeing from this war, not just for the fun of it. Human rights organisations estimate that there are between 500,000 to 700,000 refugees in camps on the Syrian side of the border. Many of them would like to go to Turkey. Hassan believes that only a small number would want to travel on to Europe. He and his wife have many relatives living in Turkey who fled from Syria years ago. Our only goal is to see our families, that's all. We don't want more than that. And what about Turkish President Erdogan's threat to let tens of thousands of refugees travel to Europe? Is it an empty threat? Lutfu Savas thinks so. He's the mayor of Hatay, a Turkish city close to the Syrian border. To be honest, I believe that most of the people who want to leave Syria already have. And of those who are already in Turkey, only the smallest number want to go to Europe, because they now have jobs here in Turkey and their children are attending Turkish schools. 500,000 Syrian refugees live in Hatay. They make up 1/3 of the city's population. Many Syrians have opened up shops here, but Savas says there are some problems with integration. Tourists are staying away. That has affected us socially and above all economically. We hope this war will finally end and that our guests will return to their country to live there. Hassan still wants to get into Turkey with the help of someone he knows with army contacts. He tells us not to accompany him with our camera, worried we'll make him conspicuous. We agree to meet him in Turkey if he makes it there. His family has been living some 300 kilometres away in the Turkish city of Mersin for 2 years. They tried to bring Hassan and his wife over through official channels, but it didn't work out. Hassan's parents are at a loss. During the siege of Aleppo, I couldn't sleep because I was so afraid for him. I am still very worried. I hope they manage to get across. I am so grateful to Turkey. People here are better than we are, but we actually want to go back to Syria, to our homeland. Suddenly, Hassan's brother's phone rings. What? You're across the border? Thank God. Hassan made it and is on his way to his family. 5 hours later, his wife Rama joins him. How the couple will carry on from here is not yet planned, but for Hassan, that's a secondary concern right now. It's an unbelievable feeling to finally be in Turkey. I was so nervous. I had tried so many times. Now it finally worked out. We were on the road for 24 hours. I'm tired but unbelievably happy, and I feel so liberated.